wait. You were the first female prosthodontist in Toronto in
in Greater
2010?
Toronto.
That was not that long ago.
The face of dentistry has changed so much. I mean, there were very few women specialists, and now that's not the case anymore.
Welcome back to part 2 with Dr. Effie Habsha. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you, Irene?
I feel like we did this already.
Yeah, a long time no speak.
And the small talk, yeah. Let's talk about women in dentistry. It's coming up in April.
For sure.
What is women in dentistry? Tell me about how you came up with this idea. I think it was like 2009, 2010?
2010, yeah.
Okay.
Women in Dentistry in a nutshell is a group that was created back in 2010 by me. And the mission now, as it has evolved, is to elevate, educate, and empower all women in the dental field. It was really just a way for me to initially just connect with my female referrals, being one of the first female prosthodontists in Toronto. And I thought it'd be nice to have my female referrals come in for an evening lecture in my office. But what happened was...
Wait. You were the first female prosthodontist in Toronto in 2010? That was not that long ago.
That wasn't that long ago. There was one other lady, Dr. Tuan Dao, but just a licensed official, prosthodontist in Toronto which is crazy. I mean, the face of dentistry has changed so much. I mean, there were very few women specialists, and now that's not the case anymore. So that's exactly it. The majority of my referrals, of course, were male, because that's the majority of dentists. Even now, despite the demographics changing in dental schools, it's still predominantly male. I don't know the exact figures, but I did have some really solid female referrals. I thought, you know what, why not connect with them? It was a great way to network. And, I had been out in practice by then, about 10 years. And so it was something that I'd always intended to do and never got around to. So started that in 2010. I think the nice thing about it, just with the organic growth of the organization, was that people really enjoyed the camaraderie and the ambiance and the conversations that happened aside from the clinical stuff. And there was a request to run it again and again and again. And that's what we did. And we had an annual evening event, a symposium every year. And then it became more and more and more popular to the point where our office facility that could only accommodate about 50 people for lectures, we kind of decided to move it out of the office into a local
that was
restaurant. And that's when I met you.
Chibo. That's
when I met you. This gorgeous blonde came up to me and said, "I'm Irene," and this and that. So it was really, really sweet. That was back in 2018 at Chibo.
Yeah.
And our mandate has always been to, obviously, as I said, educate, elevate, and empower women in the dental field, but really to offer something different than regular CE, because at the end of the day, it is a CE provider. We offer, we're PACE and AGD accredited, but I think the type of community that we're developing that we've developed is one that not only talks about the clinical part of dentistry, but that's the same whether you're a male or a female, but the difference is the stuff that comes in addition to that as a female clinician, whether it's issues with family or, associateship versus ownership, mat leave, all the sorts of questions and challenges, leadership on being a female leader with a predominantly female staff, things that really are unique to the female clinician are tackled, and people really appreciate that. We talk about health and wellness, imposter syndrome, all these sort of issues that people and clinicians spend and encounter, and we have a female twist to it. In terms of business, the business of dentistry, financial literacy, there are many studies that show that women are just financially not as, I don't want to call it savvy, but not as informed as their male counterpart. So there are specific, I have a very good affiliation with TD Bank, TD Professional Banking, where they have seminars specifically for women, because it's often, typically, if we play the gender roles, the man that has those conversations. Obviously, that's changing, and I think
it has to do with our motivations too. So I fall into that financial illiteracy as a business owner, which is horrible. But it's because I'm not financially motivated, which most men are. Yeah. And this was something that I struggled with over the last 3 years since opening my practice. I thought it would make me want to know more about, overhead and reducing overhead and all of the spreadsheet stuff, which like put me into this super masculine mode that I hated. And I realized that it made me feel like I had to be this like all powerful person at all hours of the day and night. And money just didn't drive me. So when my team would give me the production reports to sign and check my codes at the end of the day, I was like, cringing almost, because money isn't my love language. Gifts are not my love language. So I
never thought of it that way.
Yeah. And it's just the feminine, quote unquote, feminine energy that side of things gives us more stress and anxiety. So we try and avoid it as much as possible.
I'm with you, sister. I mean, that to me is, I'll say, I'm not a business person. But it's funny because I'm certainly conducting myself in a way that is, there's definitely that side of my brain that's being used, but I never thought of it as why that happened. So it's all to say that I'm not the subject matter expert, but there are subject matter experts in, professionals in the banking realm, in the accounting realm, that just cater to that. One of my good friends, Jackie Joachim, she's a COO of Roy Corp, which is a brokerage, dental practice brokerage firm. And she's really created a niche for herself. I mean, she's obviously very successful with all clients, but, having that woman to speak to, I think there's a certain comfort level. At least I know for me, I have a female bank manager, accountant, that's my comfort zone. So it's an organization that really tackles not just the clinical side, but also all of the other stuff. And it's open to everyone. It's all encompassing team members, hygienists, assistants. I think that we're all part of a team, and that's what makes a successful practice.
I bring my team every year. We take up basically an entire table.
And you're amazing. And we gave away 10 or 12
of you. Some Toothlife stuff. Yeah. There's usually between 9 to 12 of us. So we either fill up a whole table or we steal chairs from other tables in order to somehow all cram around one table because we want to sit together. But you've had some really inspiring keynotes over the last couple of events. One whom gave us all her book recently. She was a lawyer. I can't remember her name. Her book is
Marie Hennon.
Marie Hennon. Yeah.
Marie Hennon.
Her book
was
was amazing.
Rock star. Yeah, she's amazing.
Female lawyer. Tough corporate lawyer in a very male-dominated field.
Isn't it interesting that her story was very similar to all of ours? It's, whether it's climbing the corporate ladder or being too aggressive or too soft, it's just incredible, the parallels, whether you're in the business world or in the healthcare, as a healthcare provider. I think women sort of suffer the same challenges that, across the board, whether it's regarding kids or your partner or moving up the corporate ladder. I think that a lot of her story resonated with so many of us. And that was really just very, very powerful to see. And it's validating. It's reassuring that, okay, if someone like her can have doubts or face challenges, then I'm okay. And that's, I think, for me, a big part of the pleasure that I derive from women in dentistry is offering that mentorship to the younger clinicians, because I didn't have that when I was younger. And I have a daughter who's, 22, and she looks at what I do and says, that's really cool. And she sees the mentorship that not only I offer, but other women that are part of the organization. And that's extremely rewarding. I think we just shine a light on super awesome women, including speakers that were unknown before. So that's one of my biggest joys as well. The symposium, people ask, well, can we have male speakers? It's not that we don't want to have male speakers, but we really want to highlight or focus or showcase really great female talent that is present we're not checking any boxes. I mean, they're really talented women that might not get the airtime because they're not as well known. And so I find that giving them a platform, whether it's the journal that we have or the symposium or one of our webinars or smaller events, really opens the door, because it's, to be honest, a less intimidating crowd. I don't know if you find the same thing, but I think for a young woman graduating, to be in a room full of women, it just feels very comfortable.
I think it is. And also it isn't all at the same time, because when you look through the audience, you see some really powerful women who have done miraculous things like you. So to be on that other end, standing on the stage, sharing your story to someone who perhaps has gone through worse or been through more. And then that's when the imposter syndrome kicks in. It's like, oh, great. So I'm trying to tell people all these wonderful things that I did and how I aspired to be the person that I am today. But in the front row is a 2-time cancer survivor that has 5 practices. Sitting in the back over there is the very first prosthodontist in Toronto in female prosthodontist. So it's like, it's intimidating because you know that you are among other really strong and great women, but comforting all at the same time.
I think reassuring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you can see what your potential is, right?
Yeah. So next event is coming up in April.
Next,
do we have registration?
Big event. The registration, we're just finalizing the speakers. I wanted to have most of the speakers done, and we have some really great speakers that will be here. Really excited about having Sonia Lazy from BC. So she's phenomenal. She's talk about rock star, a woman who's so gifted clinically, so gifted as a speaker. She's got, some really great kids and just life experience. She just built a new practice. So I think we're going to use her for her clinical skills, but also and her clinical knowledge that she'll impart on the audience. But beyond that, I think we'll try to arrange for a conversation with her as one of the keynotes. So we're really excited about that. But what we're really excited about is just the opportunity to have more workshops. So we have business as usual on the Friday, where we have 2 rooms going. One, what we call the Salon A and Salon B. Salon B is specifically targeted and catered to team members, hygienists, assistants, treatment coordinators, so that everyone that attends the symposium can get something out of it. So not just the dentist, but the entire team. We have a workshop in the morning on how to deal with stress and burnout by 2 ladies from the US that own a company called the Mint Door. And then the day before, we have 3 clinical hands-on programs. So registration will be open I'm hoping within the next week or 2, once we just finalize the last speakers. And we're super excited to be putting this on again.
Awesome. And remind me of the dates. Is it April 4th?
April 4th and 5th. 5th is a symposium. 4th is the hands-on workshops. And there is a workshop on the 5th as well for managing with stress and burnout, which we can all afford. All use. At least that's how I'm feeling.
Will there be wine
days.
at that workshop?
There will be. There's always wine at the end of the day, though. At the end of the day, so we're very excited. We're very excited.
That's great. Well, I am honored that I've been able to watch this evolve as it has over the last few years, and it's nice for me as a business owner to bring my team of all women.
Thank you for your support.
Take off the day, and it means a lot, especially since we're local. I mean, I would bring them wherever I would have to attend, but it's nice that we get to all be together and we get to be close, and it's in our own hometown. So that's lovely. And
we'll expand
so you
that
do.
too.
Are there any plans to cross borders?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are in talks with opening chapters. So the idea of giving the infrastructure to someone else that wants to create their own level of or version of women in dentistry, there's no need to kind of recreate something that's already been done. Yeah, exactly. So we're happy to share that and just open these sort of chapters across, and there are 2 that are in production. We have a few, one in Montreal, one at Tel Aviv. So it's exciting. The community. It's really community that we're building, And we're really proud of it, and really happy that we can keep doing it.
Well, I hope you can all join. I'll link all of the information to the website below. I'm sure registration will be up, and things get full, so you have to register quickly. Absolutely. I've learned that the hard way. So thank you for sharing your most valuable resource with me today, your time and your wisdom. I appreciate it. I will link all of your information below. I encourage you all to check out the website, and I'll add some links of things that I want them to check out as well.
We do have a new website as well. We have a new website, which is brand new, womenindentistry.ca. So I'll give you all the links to the new site and the new things that
I've got it all ready. So,
perfect.
I already got it.
There you go. I'm not surprised.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, Irene, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us again. And until next time, peace out, peeps.